Hey guys, welcome to the Body and Soul Shop. A couple of videos ago, we had this 34 Ford in the trailer, and I told you we were getting ready to pull it out, and since then we have done that. The owner and I talked about chopping the top on it and everything, and he decided that that's what he wanted to do, so we took 3 inches out of this thing. Now this is 1.5 inch tape, so I'm just going to give you a general idea how I did it. I started right about in here, take that 1.5 inch tape, I just stacked that like that. And then on your thick pieces like this, I use a sawzall. I come in and cut that piece out. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it comes out. So as the top comes down 3 inches, everything changes, all the angles and everything change. So what I did was come back in here and I put a relief cut in here, so that allowed this to tip forward some. Cut this section out right in here, and come down and took this whole piece out. And then once I got everything settled in place, I had to cut that, move this part forward, and move this part forward. And so I took some out right in here and then welded this in solid. So before I cut the roof right here, this was back about 1 3/8 inches. In other words, this was back and it was just resting on there. So I knew I had to bring this forward 1 3/8 inches. So I come up here and relief cut the roof and then brought that forward and tacked it in place, then come back and added a band of metal in here. Okay, so I knew for drivability reasons, we didn't want to chop the rear window. We wanted to be able to see out of it and everything. So what I did was cut this whole section out before I chopped the top. Got my top settled down where I wanted it. So like I said, from here to here was 2 inches. So what I did was just drop this whole window section down 1 inch and then welded it back in solid. And what that did was that gives me, all my windows are approximately 8 inches. They're real close right now to an 8-inch window on the sides and front and back. Okay, so this is the last weld. I got to grind off yet, but I wanted to leave it so you guys could see. As this came down, I only had to move it about 3/16 of an inch. It was so close. I just put a ratchet strap around it and just pulled it just a little bit, and it's set right down on here. So once I got everything lined up, I just butt welded it. I give about thickness of a nickel, and then just weld that all in solid and metal finish it off. And I'll put extra metal on the inside where the wood was. So this is the piece that come out of here. And I was talking about the wood being in there. You can see that there was 1 inch or so of wood inside of there that I'll take that out and I'll weld this solid down through here. I'll make a plate and weld all that solid. That'll give it a little bit extra structure. Okay, so this is one of the doors for the car. You can see the height difference in the windows now. You can see that 3 inches of difference. I haven't cut the doors yet. I'm going to cut them in pretty much exactly the same place that I cut the pillars. This car is really in amazing shape, man. The doors are super solid on it and everything. See how the door's squared off here in the back? I'm going to radius this corner, which means I have to radius the top there too at the same time, but have that flow just a little bit more like this right in here instead of being squared off. And one of the things I thought would be kind of fun, I'm going to extend the trunk lid down to this line right here, and that'll give it just a little bit more room. Right now it's a rumble seat lid, and many of you guys know rumble seats are a pain in the butt. They're hard to get in and out of. People scratch the car up getting in and out of them and all kinds of stuff. We don't want that. We're going to change it. We're going to make it open from the back and just use a simple universal type hinge on it. I'll fabricate up the brackets and everything to hold that, and it'll just be a lot easier to get in and out of the trunk. A lot more usable space. Let's put it that way. Okay, so if I break out the micrometer, this is how accurate it is. If I go from the center of this hole to the center of the windshield hinge right here on both sides, it's exactly the same. So I like to use the micrometer, make sure I get it as accurate as I possibly can. That way there's no second guessing, and every time you cut something, you know exactly what you need to cut out. So real men still play with blocks every morning. Just my exercise, you know. A little fun fact, this Polaroid picture you're seeing, I was about 17 or 18 years old. My brother had bought a 34 Ford Coupe just like this one. Somebody had cut the roof off of it, trying to make a roadster. And so I went and welded it all back on. So this isn't my first rodeo. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is chop the doors on this thing, and then it'll be off to the sandblaster. Once it's all blasted, game on from there. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you really enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit of something. I know many of you guys already know how to chop tops and stuff like that. I'll just show you my process. But anyway, please don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the share. We would really appreciate it, and we hope God blesses you real big. See you next week.